In this episode of Disturbing True 911 Calls, a child vanishes from outside her home, an unprovoked stabbing in a library, and a 4-year-old's tragic birthday. 6-year-old Faye Swetlik was playing outside her family's home in Case on Monday, February 10th, 2020, when she disappeared. Her mother, Selena Collins, saw her last at 3:45 p.m. Collins called her boyfriend, Carter Arkand, about a half an hour later to say she couldn't find Faye. She then asked neighbors and friends to help her search for her daughter, but when the little girl was still missing just before 5 p.m., she made this call to 911.
Lexington County 911, what's the address of your emergency?
16 Londonderry Square. I need to report a missing child.
All right, repeat that address for verification.
16 Londonderry Square, Casey, South Carolina.
All right, and tell me exactly what's happening.
We can't find my daughter. She was playing outside, and now I can't find her.
Okay, how old is she?
She is 6. She's going to be 7 in June.
All right. I'm going to stay on the line with you, but I'm going to get KCPD on the line too, but I'm going to stay on the line, so don't hang up, okay?
Okay.
Okay, ma'am. All right, ma'am. You're on the phone with Casey. Go ahead.
Yes, ma'am. Can you tell me what your son's name is?
My daughter's name is Faye Swetlik. Faye.
Hold on. All right. What was the first name again?
Faye.
Faye, Faye?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and what's your last name?
Swetlik.
Spell that for me.
Swetlik.
Okay, and what was she wearing?
She was wearing polka dotted rain boots, a flowered skirt, and
solid skirt or a flowered skirt?
Flowered. Was a pink rose skirt.
Okay.
And
what
black
kind of shirt?
A black T-shirt that has a neon design on it.
And how long has she been gone?
Last I saw her was probably about an hour ago.
How tall is she?
She is 3'10".
3 foot? How much does she weigh?
65 pounds.
All right, stay on the phone with me. Do not hang up. What's your name?
My name is Selena Collins.
You last saw her in the front yard. You didn't see which way she went or anything like that?
No, she was just right in front of my front porch.
Okay. Does she have a husband?
No.
All right. Have you possibly, have you walked around and tried to locate her?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Here's what I want you to do. I want you to stay in your yard, okay? Because we have a unit out that has a dog just in case we need to try to track her, okay?
Okay.
So we don't need you walking. If you can just kind of stay close to the last place she was. Hold on just a second.
I checked all the houses in my neighborhood and anybody that's actually answered to that looking for her too.
Did she have a dog or anything with her?
No.
Okay, my officer will be there in just a few minutes.
Minutes later, the first responding officers arrived to help with the search. Half an hour later, the search area was expanded, with canine units, firefighters, and a helicopter joining the operation. At 6 p.m., the Case Department of Public Safety Director, Brian Snellgrove, requested the FBI's help in the search. At this point, neighbor interviews began. During a visit to the 6-year-old father's house, Chad Swetlik was told about his daughter's disappearance while the FBI searched his home. No evidence was found, and Swetlik's phone records proved he was at his North Carolina residence at the time of Faye's disappearance. Nearly 3 hours after Collins last saw her child, their home was established as a crime scene. Officials worked through the property, taking photos and looking for evidence. Both Collins and Arkand were interviewed separately from each other. Eventually, by midnight, the mother and boyfriend were taken to a hotel. No evidence was found against Collins, Arkand, and Faye's grandmother on their phones. There was still no sign of the child by Tuesday, 11 February. The pair were interviewed again because there was not enough for investigators to exclude them from the case. Collins said she could lead them to her child using her mother's intuition, a statement officers found odd in the interview. Throughout the day, police continued to canvass the area, comb through surveillance, and interview drivers going in and out. Still, no evidence was found. Another day went by with no clues as to where Faye was or who had taken her. On Wednesday morning, 2 FBI agents and the 6-year-old's mother went to the 6 Mile Creek area, again turning up nothing. Then, investigators found blood on a pillowcase and more in the couple's car. It seemed as if they had made a break in the case until both were tested. The blood in the house came from an open sore on Arkan's face. The blood in the cars also matched Collins and Arkan's. Just hours later, at 11:15 a.m., investigators interviewed a man at number 602 Piccadilly Square who said he lived with his roommate, Cody Taylor. The roommate was at work when Faye went missing. Both men were employees of Wingstop, but Taylor was not at the business when the 6-year-old disappeared. A full laundry bag belonging to Taylor was found and taken for DNA testing, but not inspected further. When authorities arrived at the residence later that day, another consensual search was done. Taylor said he was sleeping at the time Faye went missing. Sadly, on Thursday, February 13, one of the polka dot rain boots the girl was wearing, along with a ladle with fresh dirt on it, was found in the Churchill Heights neighborhood. Director Snellgrove found a child's body partially buried by freshly dug soil and the second polka dot rain boot in nearby woods. The coroner, Margaret Fisher, identified the body as 6-year-old Faye Swetlik. Records show that the child died around 8 p.m. the same day that she went missing. The Case Department of Public Safety and Law Enforcement held this emotional press conference.
It is with extremely heavy hearts that we are announcing that we have found the body that the coroner has identified as Faye Marie Swetlik. We are now treating this case as a homicide. As this community has been working hard to find Faye and bring her home safely, we wanted you to know as soon as possible.
At almost the exact same time, Taylor's roommate arrived home to find the man surrounded by a pool of blood. A knife was found near his body. During the search at Taylor's house, investigators found the same brand of knives in the kitchen. Additionally, they found a Walmart receipt for gardening supplies. Video footage from the store shows the purchase happening. Near her home, a memorial site continued to grow, with community members who didn't know the child feeling the effects of the tragic loss.
Everybody needs to look out for each other's children. There's too many getting gone, at such a young age. And even though I didn't know this girl, I have 3 grandkids of my own. And it just touches home, Get to know your neighbors. Get to walk around. That's it. God bless that angel. And I'm praying for their parents.
I have a 6-year-old grandson, and I can't imagine, could never imagine how her family must be feeling. I can't imagine what I would do if this were my grandson. So yeah, I think we all need to pay our respects.
A further autopsy on the 6-year-old revealed that she was strangled with a trash bag. 8 days after she was declared missing, her autopsy results were read out in a press conference.
Faye Swetlik's death did not occur at the location where her body was discovered. And her body had not been at that location. Her body had been at that location for only a short time. We have concluded that Faye's death was a homicide and took place within only a few hours after she was abducted. The cause of Faye's death has been ruled asphyxiation. Unless there's new evidence pertinent to the investigation of my office, we will not release any additional information regarding Faye Marie Swetlik.
Cody Taylor's death was ruled a suicide by a wound to the neck. Following this, law enforcement released the evidence that led them to suspecting him. The day Faye's body was found, a Lyft driver told investigators he had picked Taylor up from Walmart. The driver said that the man was acting nervous when he brought up the investigation and said he had never met Faye. On the same day, Taylor's roommate was taken in for questioning. He told officers that when he started to spend less time at the house the two men shared, Taylor's mental state seemed to decline, including suicidal ideations. While Faye was missing, Taylor used an odor eliminator in the house, but this was normal behavior since they often smoked weed together. In hindsight, the roommate said there was a strange smell, but he presumed it was a low-quality spray rather than an attempt to conceal the scent of the little girl's body. There was no evidence on Taylor's computer that linked him to Faye. Still, he had previously identified himself as an incel, a person who regards themselves as being involuntarily celibate and typically expresses extreme resentment and hostility towards those who are sexually active. Taylor's roommate also described him as too scared to talk to girls. A video from Walmart showed him buying the items used to cover up the child's body, including soil. The partially empty bag was found at his residence post his suicide. 2 other videos were uncovered during the investigation, one of Taylor dumping material from a large bag onto the burial site. The second was a video of him walking to where Faye's body was partially buried. DNA from the ladle and the laundry bag matched the 6-year-old's, and the suspect's DNA was found under her fingernails. With Cody Taylor's suicide, Faye's parents are left with more questions than answers. Since Taylor is deceased, the state of South Carolina is unable to pursue criminal charges against him. Investigators were unable to tell if he had any accomplices. 1 year on, Selena Collins and Chad Swetlik spoke about the little girl in an interview with News 19 WLTX.
She was the epitome of that childlike energy that everybody just wishes that they had. From the moment that she woke up in the morning to the moment that she laid her head down at night, it was go, 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 go. She very rarely even ever stopped to eat. Like, sometimes it was her running around with chicken nuggets in her hand, just laughing maniacally.
She's a very social butterfly. She will talk to almost anyone.
If, we ran into anybody anywhere, if she liked something that she saw, she would compliment it. She'd like, that's a good color on you, I like your hair. But she was always willing to be anybody's friend. And she wanted to be everybody's friend.
Yeah.
No matter who you were, what you looked like, or what you did, she wanted to be your friend.
Faye's murder affected the whole community, including the authorities involved in the search, especially the Director of Case Department of Public Safety, Byron Snellgrove.
For me, after 65 hours of searching, the memory of finding the small body of Faye Marie Swetlik in a shallow grave on the morning of February 13th, 2020 will never, ever leave me. In the days, months, and now nearly a year after, I see how this loss impacted our officers and our staff. This makes it almost impossible to imagine the worry and in the end, the horror that her family experienced during this time. Even as a father and a grandfather, I cannot fathom what the pain of their loss actually feels like.
The 6-year-old is remembered as God's little angel. Her family says she is not hurting. She was running around in heaven, playing, laughing, and having a great time. A buddy bench was painted and dedicated to the memory of a child whose death shook the community. As for law enforcement, a portrait of Faye is hung up in the office, and greater collaboration between them and the community has come out of the tragic event. Don't miss out on new videos. Hit the like and subscribe button. Just before 11 a.m. on Saturday, February 24th, 2018, multiple calls came into 911 about a stabbing at Winchester Public Library in Middlesex. 3 of the calls described the bloody scene.
This is the library. This is the library. Somebody is stabbing someone. Please come. Hurry.
Yeah, yes.
Hurry.
Yes.
Where is it? Winchester Public Library, main public floor in front of the reference desk. You stabbed a woman in the back.
You just stabbed a woman in the back?
Yes.
Control the 922, 924, 929. Respond to the library. What of a man with a knife just stabbed a woman in the library on the line getting further.
What's he look like?
I think they've got him cornered. He's wearing.
Listen, what does he look like?
I'm trying to.
Hello, please.
I'm sorry. There's somebody helping her. There's somebody cornered with his hands up. He's got a gray sweatshirt. I think Asian, short, dark hair.
Okay, hold on. White male?
No, Asian, I think.
The Asian male with the gray shirt on the line getting further.
Sorry?
Do they have them stopped?
I think so, yeah. There are
three.
three
P5 respond to the library.
Have him
reported a party stabbed in the back.
He's been disarmed, I think.
On the line getting further. That's engine 2, P5 to the Winchester Public Library for a man with a knife stabbed a party in the back.
Is somebody on the way, please?
Yeah, you hear me dispatching him, ma'am. Okay. So it's an Asian male. He no longer has the weapon?
I believe so.
Where in the library?
In front of the reference desk. It's on the main level. If you come in Washington
the
Street.
reference desk, the man is now disarmed. People have him cornered. Medical's en route as well.
What's your name?
My name is.
Who has him?
Desk.
Who has him held? There's a group of people?
It's a group of yes, just patrons, not library staff, I don't think.
Okay, and where's the woman that was stabbed?
She's lying on the ground in front of the, there's a display in the middle of the room.
Okay, is she conscious?
I don't think so. There's a lot of blood. She's lying down on her back. Oh my God, there's a lot of blood.
Can you go direct the police?
Yes, I can meet them. Will they be getting in the Washington?
They're already there. Go ahead.
They're already there. Okay,
Yeah,
I'm going to hang up now.
Oh,
Do you want to stay on the line?
Are you on a cordless?
No, I'm on a corded phone. Hang on, I'll just leave it open and I'll get somebody else to come pick it up. Hang on, I'll be right back. Hello, this is. I'm at the library.
Yeah, do you see the police there?
I heard the siren.
Okay.
We have somebody down.
Okay, we have the ambulance on the way.
Okay.
Hold on.
Wanda? P5 on location. Is that patient conscious?
Yes.
She is conscious. Tell her that the ambulance is there. They're coming in.
Wanda, is the person with the weapon still in the building?
They said that they have them cornered somewhere, no?
I'm standing at the phone. Can you ask anyone who, if we know whether...
Hold on.
Yeah.
All right, I'll let you go. Everybody's already there.
Okay.
All right.
Okay, thank you.
911, your call is recorded. Where's your emergency?
Hi, Winchester Public Library.
Yep. Hello?
Yeah, we need an ambulance and police.
Okay. Do you have a description of the person there?
The person who stabbed, yeah.
No, the person who did it.
Yeah, he's here. He's got his hands up.
Are we there?
He's here, yeah.
What's he wearing?
He's got a gray hoodie on. He's kneeling down, got his hands up.
He got his hands up?
Yeah.
Okay, the police have him now?
No, we're just waiting here for the police. No police yet.
Okay, and you need an ambulance as well?
Yeah, the lady got stabbed.
What's your name?
Come as soon as you can.
Who is it? Do you work there?
No, I'm just here studying, and this lady got fucking stabbed.
What's your callback number?
I don't see anyone in here.
Where is the person right now?
He's here. He's right in the back of the library.
In the back of the library, outside the library?
No, we're inside the library.
Hold on, stay on the line with me.
Okay. Yeah, it's safe in here. Just come in the library. Look, this lady got stabbed.
Right, we have people coming in.
Okay.
Hold on a minute. Stay on the line. Okay, the police should be there now. Are you there?
Yeah.
Are they there now?
They're not here yet. We need someone. I don't know if they're being cautious at the entrance.
No.
Yeah,
they should be going right in.
They're here.
Okay, you have them inside?
Yeah, the cops are here. They're getting the guy.
All right, make yourself known to them, and there should be an ambulance there as well.
Okay, yeah, I heard it, but I haven't seen it, and the lady's on the ground, and I'm here.
Okay. All right, your callback number again? So I got a lot of background. Did you see it?
No, I just heard the girl yell, and then everyone freaked out. So, yeah.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.
The first victim, 22-year-old Deane Kenny Stryker, was sitting at a table in a reading room near the library's main lobby, studying. The attacker, later identified as 23-year-old Jeffrey Yao, approached her from behind and, unprovoked, began stabbing the woman with a 10-inch hunting knife. As the attack started, people came rushing to help her, including a 77-year-old man who had been seated near her. Yao paused momentarily when the man shouted for him to stop, but then turned to the 77-year-old man and cut him across the top of his arm. The 23-year-old then went back to stabbing Stryker. He continued the attack, even when she attempted to flee to the front lobby. Finally, others in the library managed to pull him away from the victim. Once Yao was unarmed, he put his hands in the air and was taken into custody. Tragically, Stryker was pronounced dead at the hospital. The 22-year-old's autopsy showed she was stabbed 20 times. There was no connection between her and her attacker. A witness described what he saw to WCVB Channel 5 News.
There was a woman taken out, and I didn't get close to her, but it appeared that she had some injury to the shoulder.
The attacker was held without bail on charges of murder and armed assault with intent to murder. It wasn't his first brush with the law, though. In fact, over the last 6 years, there had been many more incidents. Each incident increased the family's concern for the man's mental health. Starting from February 2012, 2 students at Winchester High School were worried about Yao's Facebook posts. He had posted a video of a manifesto linked to the Virginia Tech mass shooter and another video of a shooting demonstration. A child psychiatrist cleared Yao to return to school, which he did. In November of the same year, police responded to a report of glass breaking at an elementary school in the early hours of the morning. Although the officer said he had an extensive history with Yao, he was just given a pat-down and driven home. Throughout January and February of 2013, reports against the man came in. Police called him a wanderer with mental issues, but nothing was done. By March, Yao's father went to the police himself to ask for help with his son. It's unclear how they responded to the pleas, but a few days later, he was allegedly walking around, peering into driveways and yards, and looking suspicious. Fast forward to November 2013. Yao's father again contacts the police after waking up to his son standing in the hallway of their home with a 6-inch stainless steel knife. The concerned parent contacted McLean Hospital, hoping to get him admitted, but they were turned away. The hospital said the family needed an ER evaluation of crisis team intervention. Police took him to Winchester Hospital for an evaluation. The following year, complaints were laid against the attacker, ranging from online bullying to trespassing. In April, Yao reported his bicycle as stolen, but he was found riding it days later. The man told police he had found it in a parking lot. 4 years since the first known incident, and exactly 2 years before the stabbing, a neighbor went to the police station. She was concerned after he had broken her front door's window by throwing a shovel at it. The complainant wanted an intervention because of her young children, who commonly played outside. A month later, the attacker wanted to turn himself in for kicking in a door of his home. He told police he would be released from a mental health hospital the next day and should then be arrested. His mother told authorities there weren't any doors kicked in at his house. Still, no action was taken. In October 2016, Yao went for a mental health evaluation again after a healthcare worker at the same library the stabbing happened at said he had been making suicidal statements. From December that year, up to days before he attacked Stryker, the attacker had 3 more interactions with police. He claimed his therapist was threatening him, believed chemicals were coming through the house vents that were making him sick, asked a Dairy Barn customer to do him a favor and kill him, and he crashed a car. Jeffrey Yao's lawyer, J.W. Carney, was asked by Great Boston how he could say after all this that there was no way to predict this kind of tragedy. The lawyer even went as far as to praise Winchester police for how they handled the reports. Carney said although the parents and police could have had Yao involuntarily committed, they didn't because the law doesn't permit you to commit someone just for having a mental illness. The attacker had to be a direct threat to either himself or others. In some instances, Yao had made such threats. Prosecutors told the courtroom that even at the time of the attack, Yao was on pretrial probation following his arrest and the previous fall. He had allegedly attempted to break into a neighbor's home. The charges were filed in September 2017, after the neighbor woke up to the 23-year-old banging on his back door. The neighbor referred to the attacker as a total loose cannon to the police. Others in the surrounding area shared the same sentiments. Despite reporting Yao to authorities multiple times, little was done. One of the nearby residents, Leslie Luongo, told the Globe that she knew something would happen, but they didn't know when. She was so frightened of Yao that she would run to her car every day when she left the house at 5 a.m. to go to work. Luongo said residents kept their children indoors, kept baseball bats nearby, and locked their doors. The most alarming part, when she reported her concerns to Winchester police, she was told not to worry. Officers said they were shadowing Yao when he went out that night, but that was not the case. Luongo spoke to reporters shortly after the stabbing.
It's a very sad time in our neighborhood. We're mourning this girl. We still feel like we lost one of our own.
We went to the police, and now this poor innocent girl, whoever she is gone. And they have to do more in this country with mental illness.
Went to the police and we said, they go, we're handling it. It's under control. Don't worry about it. We know what's going on. We can take care of this.
Concerning the September charges, the 23-year-old was required to remain mentally compliant, which reports said she was. However, his attorney, J.W. Carney Jr., blamed his client's long history of serious mental illness for the unprovoked attack. Carney said, "This is the type of episode or illness that really can't be predicted. It's totally unexpected to everyone, most especially his parents." This statement was a stark contrast to what those who knew Yao said. Community members left flowers at the library as the victim's family asked for privacy. Meanwhile, hundreds gathered at the Winchester Unitarian Society to remember 22-year-old Deane Kenny Stryker. She was a first-year student at the University of New England's College of Osteopathic Medicine. Friends remembered her as a young woman who was committed to helping others.
Deane was such a nice person, and it's not fair what happened. Doesn't make sense.
And we hope she's remembered for everything that she has done and that her memory lives on and everybody cherishes the moments they had with her.
She had hopes of working as a physician. As a teen, Stryker had worked caring for children. A family friend said his daughters grew up with her.
We've all known them very well for a long time, and they're just an extremely nice family, a remarkable family, and their mom obviously is struggling to make sense of all this. Deane is a special kid. She's overcome, some real obstacles in her life, and she decided early on that she wanted to be a doctor. She studied at Northeastern University years ago, and so the mom has raised the three girls mostly on her own, and everybody was just so proud of her. She was just a remarkable kid.
The 77-year-old man who was stabbed while trying to save Stryker was later identified as Lester Tabor. He was treated and released from an area hospital. He said, "It's a tragic situation. I've expressed my condolences to the family of the young girl." A not guilty plea was entered on Yao's behalf, and the judge scheduled a probable cause hearing for April 11th. The killer's defense entered an insanity plea, saying there was approximately 2 hours of evidence to back this up. The prosecution disagreed.
In the weeks and months preceding the murder of Deane Stryker, the defendant took a knife fighting class, bought the knife he used to kill Ms. Stryker in the days before, and searched many times on his computer about how to slash someone's neck.
However, medical experts said Yao was mentally ill then and now. The judge asked the accused about it.
I understand from exhibits that are being admitted in this case, which I have reviewed, and from Dr. Edersheim's testimony this morning, that you have a psychiatric diagnosis. Can you tell me what that is, please?
Schizophrenia, Your Honor.
He said he thought the victim was one of the voices in his head. In March 2021, he was found not guilty by reason of insanity. 3 experts found he didn't have the capacity to understand his actions.
I find that Mr. Yao is mentally ill, that he is not a proper subject for commitment to any facility of the department, and that failure to retain Mr. Yao in strict custody would create a likelihood of serious harm. Accordingly, I will allow the Commonwealth's petition for commitment to the Bridgewater State Hospital.
There was no injury in the case. On March 26, 2016, Davita Walker called family members, telling them something was wrong with her baby and that she hoped that her baby wasn't dead on her birthday. Her 4-year-old, Charisma Richardson, wasn't breathing. After that, the mother called 911.
911?
Hello.
911?
Hi, I'm calling to see if I can have an ambulance to my house.
I can't understand you, ma'am.
I'm calling to see if I can have an ambulance to my house.
Okay, what address?
1131 North Douglas.
1131 North Douglas?
Yes.
Is there an apartment or is that a house?
Apartment 2.
Apartment 2?
Mm-hmm.
So 1131 Douglas, apartment 2?
Yeah.
Okay, stay on the phone. I'm going to transfer to the ambulance, okay?
Hello. Hello.
Hi, tell me exactly what happened.
Last night I left my kids in the house with my little cousin to go get my daughter some burn cream because she had ran her bath water too hot.
Uh-huh.
And she had burnt her feet.
Okay.
And when I got back, she was already asleep.
Okay, so what's going on today?
And today I woke up to check on her and it's her birthday and she's like purple. She's not moving.
Is she breathing?
No.
Okay, how old is she? I'm going to go back.
She just turned 4 today.
When authorities arrived at the apartment on Douglas Avenue in Kalamazoo, Charisma's ankles and the tops of her feet were blistered and burned, and her skin had peeled away in some areas. The little girl had a cut and bruise on her face and other signs of bruising on her body. She was found face down on a thick white comforter placed on the ground, dressed in a t-shirt and leggings. Tragically, the child was declared dead after a brief attempt to resuscitate her failed. Investigations into the 4-year-old's suspicious death uncovered the abuse Charisma suffered before that horrific day. A week after she died, the Kalamazoo County Prosecutor's Office confirmed that the little girl was beaten with a belt, punched in the face and chest, and had suffered burns bad enough to blister her hands and feet. At the same time, her mother, Davita Walker, appeared in court for a preliminary examination to decide whether she was fit to have custody of her 3 other children. 2 men who fathered children with the accused were there, attempting to get full custody of them. Child abuse charges were initially sought against Walker but were denied pending autopsy results. Authorities said the evidence found at the scene led them to believe Charisma didn't die from natural causes. They also interviewed the child's babysitter and mother, which provided more details into the day-to-day suffering the 4-year-old endured. Babysitter Victoria Robinson, who had looked after Charisma from December 2014, told police she was a well-behaved child who Robinson didn't have to whoop. She said the little girl was treated differently by her mother in comparison to the other children, who were treated like kings. The witness said shortly before the 4-year-old's death, the girl had stayed with her for 3 to 4 weeks. The babysitter told police that Walker would complain about Charisma eating out of the rubbish, drinking water from the toilet, and urinating in the corner. In a later interview, the mother herself admitted to punching the toddler for stealing water out of her bathroom. On 2 separate occasions, the little girl had a black eye, allegedly from the other children hitting her. This wasn't an isolated incident either. Once, The child crawled around the house because of her burns when one of her brothers got on top of her and started punching her. They had reportedly been instructed to do it by their mother. The abuse was so severe that one of Walker's family members asked Robinson to take Charisma because she was neglected. She was asked not to relay the information to the child's mother. 2 days before Charisma died, Walker told Robinson that the then 3-year-old wouldn't have a birthday party anymore because the little girl was getting on her mother's nerves. The police report also details the mother's punishment when the child had a bathroom accident. She was not allowed to eat, leaving her so thin that her bones were visible. The accused allegedly wouldn't allow the child to stay with her babysitter because she would lose out on government assistance checks. Robinson had even offered to take care of Charisma without compensation, but the mother was too concerned about the checks being discontinued to allow it. The babysitter thought of reporting the abuse to the authorities, but didn't think it would help. Davita Walker, who was pregnant during the police interview, told police she whooped the child about 6 times per week for urinating on herself at night and a few times a week for mouthing off. The mother claimed she was frustrated and depressed after being left alone with 4 kids. Walker said nobody wanted to take Charisma because of her bathroom accidents, so she couldn't get a break except when her babysitter would collect her. At first, she denied burning the 4-year-old, but eventually told police she was running Charisma a bath, but that the girl complained that the water was too cold. After Charisma was already in the tub, Walker ran hot water only for about 3 minutes, and Charisma's feet and ankles were near or under the scalding hot water. She said she didn't think it would burn the child so badly. Walker told detectives what happened the day before the child's death. Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety Detective Sheila Goodell relayed the interview in court.
Did she talk to you about punching her, though, in the stomach at all?
Yes, she did.
And when did she say she did that?
She did that for a total of 4 times, with one of the times being on the March 25th, 2016. She said that she did it a total of 2 times during the week leading up to her death, and a total of 4 times is what she said.
And when she punched her, where would she punch her?
In the stomach area.
Did she describe to you how Charisma responded when she was punched?
Yes, she did.
What did she tell you?
On the day leading up to her death, which is March 25th, she explained how she punched Charisma because Charisma was trying to run away from her, and she punched Charisma, and Charisma stated "ow," and she started crying and went to her room as directed.
She slumped into a wall?
Yes, she did.
That's what the defendant said. Charisma slumped into the wall after she was punched.
Yes. She would, as she put it, whoop Charisma numerous times with the belt.
And did she tell you which belt it was?
Yes, she did.
Was it a white belt?
Yes.
Was it the one that was seized by Kalamazoo Department of Public Safety?
Yes.
And just testified to, the photograph was testified to by Lab Tech Thomas?
Yes, sir.
How often would she whoop her?
She would whoop her numerous times per day for various reasons.
What were some of the reasons?
She would have she would urinate on herself, and she wasn't completely potty trained, and Ms. Walker stated this frustrated her, and that was mainly the reason why she would get disciplined, but not the only reason.
People's Exhibit number 2 was a photograph of a cut under Charisma's eye.
Yes.
Did you ask the defendant about that?
Yes, I did.
What, if anything, did she tell you?
She stated that during one of the many whoopings that she did to the victim, Charisma, she stated that the victim was struck under the eye as a result of her whooping the victim, and it was because the victim was squirming around. Ideally, she wanted to strike the victim on her rear end, but because the victim was squirming around during the whooping, she got struck under the eye.
During the trial, the medical examiner, Dr. Brandy Shattuck, testified that Charisma had over 40 to 50 scars, 150 scabs, 10 bruises, and 25 individual burns on her body at the time of her autopsy, along with 4 or 5 other areas of hemorrhage inside her body. Shattuck found the cause of death was complications from multiple injuries. including blunt and thermal injuries, and that the manner of Charisma's death was a homicide. In addition, the 4-year-old had an infection caused either by hemorrhaging of her pancreas or the burns on her feet. She said the kind of hemorrhaging she had in her pancreas is typically something she sees in victims of motor vehicle crashes or people who have fallen from heights. Charisma's body also showed symptoms that led Shattuck to conclude she had been in shock before her death. In 2019, Charisma Richardson's mother was found guilty of murder, child abuse, and torture in her death, but more charges were expected. Detectives were looking into who knew about the abuse and what they told police. They believe some of the people interviewed lied when asked about it, which could be a misdemeanor or a felony charge. Since it is related to a first-degree homicide, it would be a 4-year felony. Walker also faces an abuse and neglect case involving her and her children in the Family Division of Kalamazoo County Circuit Court. That case, opened upon Charisma's death, includes her 3 brothers, ages 6, 5, and 2, at the time she died. It also includes the killer's youngest son, who was born and removed from her care.
Where did you go to?
I went to my cousin's house.
And just so we're clear, who was your cousin?
Deane Walker.
What was the reason for going over there?
To see if she had some burn injury.
Why did you need that?
Because her feet had got burned and we were taking a bath.
Now, when you were first questioned about this, you denied having done any of these things or been responsible for it, right?
Right.
At some point, you made some admissions, essentially acknowledging or admitting that you did these things. Is that correct also?
Right.
Can you explain why you did that?
Because after I kept telling her the story, what really happened, she kept telling me that I was lying. And after several hours of being called a liar, she told me that if I didn't admit to it, I would not leave. She would try to do a murder right then and there. At that point, I was thinking about getting warned in and being able to get out and celebrate my kid. But she told me the only way I would be able to get out is I admitted to it because I was lying.
Jeff Getting, Kalamazoo County prosecuting attorney, said this is one of those cases that keeps him up at night.
This is one of those cases that impacts everyone. You can't read this report, you can't look at these pictures, you can't look at that picture and not have it affect you. Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Michael Stein has been assigned to prosecute this case. Mike is a specialist within my office. He does difficult litigation. He specializes in cases with children as victims. He will be the one handling the case from this point forward.
Was she picked up at the house on verdict, or did he send it?
I don't know where she was picked up. I just know that she was taken into custody safely.
He said the little girl made an impact she wasn't even aware of. On November 7th, Pamela Lightvote looked straight into Walker's eyes as she told her the case was among the worst case she had ever seen. The murderer was sentenced to life in prison for 2 counts of felony murder and 50 to 75 years for the child abuse and torture that led to her death. County Chief Assistant Prosecutor Carrie Klein said almost as horrifying as the abuse was, the effect that the other people in the child's life did nothing to stop it was shocking. She urged everyone to report abuse immediately. A 7-year-old Australian boy came to his father's rescue, earning himself the title of a junior 000 hero. He made the call while his mother was helping his father, James, who was having a seizure.
Emergency services. Thanks, Telstra. Go ahead, caller. What address do you need the ambulance?
Sorry, my brother gave me.
What's your address? Do you need an ambulance?
Yes.
Yep.
My dad's having a fit.
Okay, what's your address? What's the home address there?
I don't know.
You're not sure? Do you know the name of your street?
Yes. Yes.
What suburb?
Yeah, Mum. Pardon?
What suburb? Do you know what suburb it is?
My dad having a fit.
Yep. Do you know what suburb you're in there?
No.
You don't know? Is your mum home there with you?
Yes, but she's out there. She doesn't want us to come. She just said keep the door locked.
Keep the door locked so she's with your dad?
Yes.
Yeah? How old are you?
Can you get there as quick as you can,
We're going to get an ambulance on the way. Just stay really calm there for me, okay?
Yes.
Can you tell me what's happened? Your dad's having a fit, is he?
Pardon?
Your dad's having a fit, is he?
A seizure.
A seizure. How old is your dad?
26.
26.
He's turning 26.
He's turning 26. Now, can you see him? Is he outside?
No, he's inside.
He's inside. Is he awake?
Yes.
He is? Is he breathing?
I'm pretty sure.
Can you go check and see? Tell me whether you can see his chest going up and down, okay?
No, I don't want to. I'm too scared.
Yeah, that's okay. That's okay. All right. We've got an ambulance on the way there, okay?
Yeah.
Just stand the line. I've got a few questions there for you. What's your name?
Lucas.
Lucas. I'm Bridget Lucas, okay? You're doing an excellent job.
Pardon?
Is he a diabetic?
No.
He's not? Okay. Is he an epileptic?
I don't know.
You're not sure? Does he often have seizures?
He has had a few this year.
Okay.
And one last year.
Okay. Does he have a history of stroke or brain tumour?
I don't know.
You don't know? That's fine. You've done an excellent job there, Lucas.
Does it mean that he doesn't remember?
No. It's just something the doctor would have diagnosed him with.
Yeah,
okay.
He's got these little pills that make him better, that don't make him have a seizure.
Oh, okay. All right. You've done an excellent job there. Your dad's name's James, is it? Now, you've done a really good job there, okay?
Yeah. Can you tell them to get there as fast as they
They're
can?
on the way there for you, Lucas. You need to stay on the line for me, though, okay? Okay.
And I've got my brother and sister in here.
How old are your brother and sister?
Well, my brother's 2, my sister's 4.
She's 4. And how old are you?
Well, I'm 7.
Okay, just one moment there, Lucas. Don't hang up.
I'm not going to because I'm really scared.
You've done a great job there, and we have help on the way, okay?
The California Gully Boy is the oldest of 3. His little brother is 2 years old, and his sister is 4. Lucas stayed calm and answered the dispatcher's questions, even while trying to keep his siblings quiet. The junior hero was presented his award by the Minister of Emergency Services, Jane Garrett, and comedian Dave Hughes. 28 other young Victorians were also awarded at the ceremony. Staying down under, another 000 hero call made by Sue shows the importance of knowing CPR and calling for help as soon as possible.
Emergency, what town or suburb, please?
Yes.
Tell me exactly what happened.
I think my husband's pacemaker's going off. He's not breathing. He's unconscious.
Okay. You with him now?
Yes.
How old is he?
66.
Okay, and we're going to help for you now. There's some counselling. I'll tell you how to do resuscitation.
I've done CPR.
Okay, so place your heel of your hand on the breastbone in the centre of the chest, right between the nipples, just like you know, and place your other hand on top of that hand. Pump the chest hard and fast at least twice per second and 5 centimetres deep. Count out loud so I can count with you, okay?
2,
3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's it. You're doing good. You can count out loud if it helps you. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just doing CPR until we get there. I'm not going to hang up with you until they walk in the door, okay? 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Is he?
Yeah.
Okay. So it's very important that you look at him closely. Tell me exactly what you see and hear him doing. And I want you to say now, every single time he takes a breath in, starting immediately.
Breathe in.
Yep. Keep going.
Out. In.
Keep going. That's right, keep going.
In. He's breathing by himself.
Okay, very good. Stay right with him and check his breathing often, okay?
Yeah. Stop breathing.
Okay, so I'm just going to tell you how to give mouth to mouth. Place your hand on his forehead, your other hand under his neck, then tilt the head back. Now pinch his nose closed and completely cover his mouth with your mouth and blow 2 regular breaths into the lungs, about 1 second each. The chest should rise with each breath. Okay, just keeping up that rhythm as best you can. I know it's difficult, but they'll come as quick as they can, okay?
Yep.
All right, very good. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Just try and keep up that pace. You're giving him the best help you can. Is there anybody else that can possibly take over for you?
My kids.
Okay, all right. Do you want to send them into another room?
Yeah, there's a guy there.
Okay, just focus on my voice and try and keep up this rhythm until we get there. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. You're doing well. You're doing well. They're around the corner. 3. Okay, very good work. You did great. Bye-bye.
Sue rang 000 when her 68-year-old husband, Bob, went into cardiac arrest. Call taker Jessica talked the woman through CPR for almost 15 minutes. Thanks to the help of the dispatcher, they were able to save Bob's life. Jessica credited Sue's calmness for being able to execute the CPR properly. Meanwhile, Sue said it was the dispatcher who was the hero in the situation. At the time, the call center was promoting the call, push, and shock method, which starts with calling the emergency number, then beginning the compressions as soon as you can, and shock for early defibrillation if possible. Although Bob had a pacemaker and defib installed, it wasn't enough to kick him back to consciousness, so the paramedics had to do it again. Had his wife not started CPR while waiting for them, it would have been too late. Within 3 minutes, the 68-year-old was sitting up and talking to them. In an interview with a local radio station, Sue said he had recovered well. Don't forget to like this video if you found it interesting, and subscribe to join us in the next episode of True 911.